Live from Burbank, California, welcome everybody to the ESL Hearthstone Legendary Series Season 2 Grand Finals. My name is Dan Cho, also known as Frode, and I'll be guiding you throughout the weekend's festivities where we have gathered 16 of the best Hearthstone players in the world to battle for $25,000 as well as 230 World Championship points. This weekend will be over 3 days. We're going to be having players battle out in group stages until single elimination format, and once again, it promises to be just as epic as Season 1. We have 4 groups for you today. Let's take a look at what we can expect to see. In Group A, we're going to start off the day with Trump versus Demigod, as you saw on the pre-roll, as well as Koyuki and Gabi. Over in Group B, we have Cloud9 Super Saiyan Colento versus Lead Paint, and then Kit Kats versus Domdus. Over in Group C, we have the Salt Lord himself, Reynad from Tempo Storm, up against Roger, who's qualified for everything under the sun, as well as Oskaka and Wulos. And over in Group D, we have the German Titan Life Coach up against the Rat, and Silent Storm Season 1 champion versus Phone Tap. In day number 3, we're going to have the round of 8 play all the way through single elimination format. And of course, if it is your first time watching Hearthstone, excuse me for that little trip there, we want to talk a little bit about the format. It's best of 5 conquest where you have to win with every deck one time. As soon as you win, it's an eliminated deck and you have to move on. But every game is a blind pick from that point onwards. We also want to talk about the opportunity for you guys to stay engaged in the conversation. Hashtag HLS and tweet at ESL Hearthstone. Let us know some of your thoughts on the games as well as the match that's going on, or an opportunity to win some cool stuff. And how can you win some cool stuff? Well, you can come down to the ESL Burbank Studios and beat me in a Hearthstone game, because I think we're also having a fireside gathering of sorts. People can play some Hearthstone, whether on their tablets or the PCs. Or if you want some free stuff, go to esl.gg/season2finals, where you can get a raffle of cool giveaways through our sponsors. And of course, we want to take an opportunity to thank them too for Gigabyte and Plantronics for making this all possible. You can check out all their cool stuff. Once again, legendaryseries.com. Find all the formats, schedulings, and the rules in case you need to get caught up to speed on what happened and what's going to happen. So, with that, let's talk about our first match of the day, shall we? It's going to be Trump versus Demigod. People know who Trump is. If you've watched his stream, he's very popular on Twitch. But people don't know too much about Demigod, and more specifically, what they think about each other.
I am Jeffrey Shee. I'm known as Trump, Mayor of Valleytown. I'm from the Bay Area, and I play for Team TSM.
I'm Jared Nolasco, and I'm 21. I'm from Hawaii, and I play for actually 2 teams. Team Bro, which is a local team in Hawaii, and Vicious Syndicate.
The Mayor of Valleytown nickname comes from the opening days of Hearthstone, where I always preached about card advantage and didn't care so much about tempo. So I'd always be looking for the most valuable play, the way to get 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, and I preached that as the way to win.
Demigod comes from, I like hip-hop, especially underground hip-hop, so I got it from this group called Demigods. Their message is like, I'm like powerful as, demigod. So I wanted to use that to get my, the respect. So
Trump's a nice short word. It's very powerful, and it has to do with being able to get an advantage over your opponents.
My favorite card, Kel'Thuzad. Minions, servants, soldiers of the cold dark, obey the call of Kel'Thuzad.
As the Mayor of Valleytown, it's really easy to answer what I would do if I won the $10,000. I would invest it so that it would grow over the future decades to $20,000, $40,000, $100,000.
I'm pretty positive that I could beat Trump. I versed him on ladder numerous times, and I think just because I'm unknown doesn't mean I don't have a chance against the big timers, and I'll take them down.
I've always been a competitive gamer in every game I played. Ever since I started by playing something like Oregon Trail, I would race to the finish, compete against the other classmates who are like, I got there fastest. So it's just something that's in my blood.
All right, we're joined here in the player area. A lot of fun words being tossed back and forth about their history, whether their usernames or their former competitive esports background in Oregon Trail. I'm joined right now by Chalky, who will also be commentating this time around, not playing. What's up with that?
Didn't manage to qualify this time, but I found my way back here anyway to cast.
That's right. Jockey was the Season 1 runner-up to Silent Storm. He had a great tournament performance there. But this time, we're happy that you're able to cast. How different is that from playing? Do you feel more relaxed and at ease?
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot more relaxed. Not much to lose at the caster desk, but interested to see how Silent Storm will do.
Well, that's right. That's right. We'll see how Silent Storm's able to perform. He's going to be playing in Group D again in day number 2. We're going to be playing through Groups A and B today. Let's take a look at the groups again here. You can take my cue card. Trump, Demigod, Koyuki, and Kabi. What are you excited for when you look at this group?
I'm kind of excited to see the storyline in this is basically kind of like the new faces versus the old. And like Demigod said, he thinks he can take down Trump, but we're going to have to see.
What do you know about some of these other people like Kabi and Demigod? Because we know Trump and Koyuki from back at the ESGN days, if you can think, a year ago when you were on that show as well.
Oh, man. Good days. Demigod I don't know too much about. I guess he's, done pretty decently on the ladder. Kabi I know, pretty big tournament player, doesn't really like ladder as much, and he had one of the most dominant performances in his week, so interested to see how he'll do.
Awesome. And then the last question is, you're really in down attire here. Every other caster and host and talent dressed up. So is Team Dignitas forcing you to do this, or is it more like you just want to keep it relaxed, jockey style?
Man, the Dignitas hoodie, man, it's super comfortable. All those guys, they look like stiff and not relaxed, but you can buy one at team-dignitas.net.
Let's see how stiff they actually are, Jockey. Well done on your first interview. Let's get it over to Crip, Firebat, and Azuma, who are ready for our first match.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Dan and Jockey. And you know what? I feel very comfortable. We're going to be bringing you guys the play-by-play action today. My name is TJ, of course. I'm joined with Crip and Firebat. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing really good. I'm very happy to be part of the production and cast some great Hearthstone.
Yeah, me as well. I'm really happy to be here casting. Usually I'm more of a player, but it's going to be nice to try casting for once.
Yeah, it should be a really fantastic weekend full of Hearthstone action. Our first match of the day, of course, is between Trump and Demigod. We saw them have a few words about each other and about themselves.
Yep.
Did you guys like anything? The Kel'Thuzad impression from Demigod, that was pretty funny.
That was good. I mean, he really got into that. Out of all the little segments of his interview, he seemed to really praise that card a bit. But I'm more curious to see if he actually includes it in his decks. Favorite card's one thing, but you're coming here to win.
Yeah, I think we might actually be able to see it because I've talked to Demigod before, and his favorite class is Paladin. So maybe we can see some sort of heavy control Paladin archetype with the Kel'Thuzad. But the thing that impressed me most about his video is his confidence. Going up against a Titan like Trump, that confidence is really good to have, especially going into your first game.
And Trump has been doing exceptionally well recently, so it is that little factor of intimidation.
Yeah.
There are some upswings, but there's certainly some downswings in Hearthstone, and sometimes it's kind of hard to stop the upswings of players.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it just seems like players get on a roll and everything goes their way, every little RNG flip. But anyway, we got the lineups here, and we have Paladin versus Hunter. How do you feel about those?
Well, there are some thoughts that I think a lot of people kind of get into it. They think Hunter is a pretty good class these days. I think maybe Grim Patron's a pretty good class these days. So when it's one of those two, you kind of have to root for that, huh?
Yeah, actually, I think the Paladin versus Hunter is Paladin favored, surprisingly. Like, I'm a big Hunter player myself, advocate of Hunter being kind of OP a little bit. But I think Paladin is really good against Hunter. They have a lot of tools to really deal with it. Shielded Minibot being one of the strongest cards early game to help him keep up with the Hunter's early aggression.
Yeah, the aggression that the Hunters bring, it's kind of phased into the late game, but you need that early game like damage swing.
Yeah.
You got to get in some points off the start. And Zombie Chow even, that's a pretty nice one.
That's a really great start. And to talk a little bit about these guys' history, how they made it to the LAN finals. Demigod was one of the players that qualified through the Last Chance Open, and he made it all the way to the winners bracket, so he had one of the best records. Trump, of course, he lost in his Legendary Series regular week, but came back and won in Redemption Cup #1. So both these players definitely earned their spots to get to the LAN finals.
Actually, all of these players have earned their spots to get to the LAN finals.
Very true.
All the players had to qualify through their week in some form to make it here. Some players, had the favor to get invited to their week, but they still had to win it. Some players had a bigger journey than others, but everyone's a winner that showed up in this event.
All right, Firebat, so what are we looking for here if you're the Paladin player?
That zombie chow
Yeah,
right there
just
that you
zombie
already
chow.
have. It's really good. The coin is also extremely good with the Wild Pyromancer. I was kind of curious that he mulliganed away the quality with the Wild Pyromancer, because sometimes against Hunter, all you need is that stabilization early game, and then you're just good to go for the rest of the game because your cards are just such higher value.
I feel like equality these days is so much worse than it was, a few expansions back where it actually killed everything.
Yeah, there's so many death rattles that it can be kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the reasoning by throwing it back. But interesting tech card that we have the Wild Pyromancer, which is going to serve most likely pretty good at cleaning up some of those death rattle minions like the Haunted Creeper. And usually it signals sort of a heavier control paladin, so maybe we will get to see that Kel'Thuzad.
He uses a quick shot right away to kill off the zombie chow, which might seem wasteful, but it's actually really important just because that zombie chow can end up trading 2-for-1 in most cases. Like, can kill off the mad scientist and proc the secret, which is a pretty big deal in the early game.
Yeah, as Hunter, you need to be generating early tempo as soon as possible. And
There it is.
there it is, yeah. He's just hoping it doesn't get met by the True Silver Champion here.
But the Peacekeeper is an adequate answer still.
It's not a huffer.
No, no. Now you mentioned it is a Paladin favored matchup, but in Hearthstone there are favored matchups, but most of them tend to be close to the 50% when it comes to competitive decks. You think this is still one of those? You think maybe
Yes.
it's maybe 55 Paladin favored, if anything?
Yeah, 55 if anything, because Paladin does not run that many early game cards, and if they don't miss their early game cards and stall down the Hunter's early aggression, then the Hunter's going to be able to get them to around that 15 range sweet spot, where they'll be able to burst them down at the end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the Hunter hero power is pretty good when your opponent's running out of life, and not so good when they have full.
yeah, definitely. That's pretty much just the story.
Yeah.
But Trump, it looks like he's been keeping up really well. I mean, not Trump, Demigod.
So what? A lot of players, when I was talking about them and Trump, were saying that Trump is a very predictable player. And he sort of brought the 3 decks that most of these players were saying that he was going to bring, with Hunter, Paladin, and Warlock, because those are the 3 decks he plays most in Constructed on stream. Do you think that's a big weakness, or do you not think it really matters much when it comes down to it in Conquest?
Being predictable is definitely a big weakness, but you got to think about, are you just trying to get out of groups, or are you trying to win the whole tournament? You can't really specialize your entire lineup for one player in a tournament of this size. So I don't think it's that big of a disadvantage in this tournament, but if it was, say, like an 8-man tournament, it would be much larger of a disadvantage. But for this event, I think it's fine.
Now, I don't play that much Hunter, but every time I play against Hunter, I don't seem to get Harrison Jones. Is that a new thing? Is that a Trump thing?
Yeah, that looks to be some sort of new tech here, and it could serve really good against the Paladin, because a lot of times Hunter really struggles against weapons, because that's what really slows down their tempo, because weapon is always a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Weapons always get huge amounts of value, and the mayor of Value Town recognized that, and he's going to get a way to get value off of their value with the Harrison Jones drawing a card.
Thing is, he's going to need it. He's just so far behind, and he's done 0 damage.
Yeah, so he's really hoping that Demigod puts up the True Silver this turn.
One of the biggest weaknesses of Hunters is other Hunters.
Yeah, that's true as well. And that's going to be a good mechanism to stop them.
You never expect the old 1-2 punch of the Harrison Jones Kazan Mystic when you're playing against a Hunter.
Yeah, I kind of like it because a lot of decks, Lotheb's been falling out of favor because a lot of things are a lot less spell reliant. There's not as much rogue nowadays.
Yeah.
So Lotheb's gone down in value a lot. So maybe just teching out the Lotheb and throwing in the Harrison Jones, since almost all of the popular decks in the meta have weapons in them. I think it's a really smart decision on Trump's part.
I don't think it's going to pay off too well, though. Even though we see the True Silver in the hand of Demigod, it seems like Demigod has his next 2 turns already planned out.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way that you don't turn 6 Dr.
Yeah, that's obviously the intention of the Coin Emperor.
Yeah.
So.
He got the beast.
It's a weird one.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays it, then Big Game Hunter is actually going to be accurate when he says, I got the beast in my sights.
Literally.
Yeah.
And Harrison Jones is going to come there. Because I think with the Big Game Hunter, your play is with the True Silver.
Yeah. Not the most optimal way to get Harrison Jones value, but...
Yeah. That beast is definitely going to come back to bite him. Is this an automatic call for BGH, or
You cannot
turn 6
Yeah,
Dr.
can you?
Boom?
This is why you run BGH right here. He's got the beast
what
in
else
his
does it
sights.
hit?
Yeah.
Does it hit it like a Houndmastered High Mate, I guess?
Yeah, that'd be it, right? Unless maybe Dr. Boom, but it seems like a really good opportunity. Yeah, he's going to take it.
I guess you could shield the Minibot again here, rather than True Silver. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. There's nothing really to True Silver right now. Like, you can just True Silver the face, basically, so I definitely like the Minibot development a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, I just think the True Silver isn't bad. Oh yeah, I do think I like that. But if you do True Silver, you just make it so you can Doctor Room and have the True Silver next turn.
Yeah.
Which is just good. Like you don't play a True Silver against the Hunter and think it's gonna get Harrison.
Yeah, you never do.
So I mean, it seems like an okay play, but fortunately he didn't make it.
Yeah.
So Trump has only managed to put on 4 damage to Demigod at this point in the game. We're turn 7, and he's playing Hunter.
He actually doubled the damage that he did throughout the game this turn.
Yeah.
He did another 3.
Wow.
Impressive stuff.
And Tyrion comes in now. So Dr. Boom into Tyrion. Yeah, that's pretty much the dream, right?
Yeah. He's even got heal bot. I don't think he'll even need to use the heal bot this entire game.
There's
Yeah.
like no chance that Demigod can lose this.
Yeah,
Whoa.
he's in a very good position. It's going to be hard for him to lose it. Trump would have to do something amazing.
Putting this in my diary just in case he loses. 11:12 a.m. Day 1. Crip says no way for Demigod to lose this.
Well, if normal RNG dictates this game, like one of those boom bots is going to trade for Harrison Jones and the other one's going to trade for Trump's next card. And then there's Tyrion.
and then there's Tyrion.
Oh, man.
The chances that he's running Black Knight are pretty slim.
Yeah.
Well, do you just Tyrion here, or do you go for the Consecrate?
I like Consecrate.
Yeah, just clear everything off.
He's only got 1 card remaining, and you've already seen both quick shots.
Yeah, the only way your opponent can win, I guess, is racing you with only 1 card. So just clearing off the board is really smart. Able to take that out,
Yeah.
basically seal the game. We see a King Crush.
Well,
The race is on.
Yeah. I suppose.
He does not look excited about that King Crush. Generally, people smile when they play King Crush, but Trump
Yeah,
is...
this is a situation where you have to go face to win, but if you go face, you know you're dead.
Yeah.
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 cold-blooded.
Yeah. Oh, Trump drops one. Hunter doesn't dominate the opening game, which is a nice way to start, I'd say.
I like that. Hopefully, we can continue seeing that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we'll see if that's going to set the pace for the day, but Demigod is going to take game number 1.
Good stuff. Now, it being Conquest format, I don't think Trump's Hunter deck is going to have a problem winning a game.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, but it is most of the fact that Paladin has it has some hits, but it also has some misses.
Yeah.
So the Paladin hitting is definitely a really big deal.
Really, really good. Because Paladin is one of those decks that you have to follow like a really heavy curve, basically. So you have to have a few 2-drops, a few 3-drops, a few 4-drops, and like slowly progress. And so sometimes you can just totally miss your early game curve and just be stuck with all your end game and lose to fast decks like Hunter.
Just draw your weapons.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, so definitely getting a win with that is really good.
Yep. So Demigod's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he is. This is a question that I like to ask players that play Conquest a lot is the order of your decks. And if you stay on the same deck when you lose, what are the benefits of staying on the same deck? Or is it better to just flip a coin or roll a dice and pick it randomly?
There's no advantage of the ordering in your decks in Conquest, so the best would probably be just to randomize it. But I've noticed a trend that a lot of players tend to stick with the same deck.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you think your opponent thinks that you're going to stick with the same deck, then you could try to guess what they're going to pick and then pick something to counter that sort of thing.
Next level mind games?
Yeah, there's definitely trends that you can identify in Conquest that people do naturally because we're humans. We can't be completely random all the time.
Yeah. Unless
So-
you just have a die with you when
Yeah,
you make the decisions.
if you
I
do
have
that.
heard of that as a strategy from some players.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of players definitely do that. But you can see if they're doing that, and then you know, all right, let's not mind games him. He's rolling a dice.
Yeah, these
What
players.
if you roll the dice earlier before the match
Oh,
and
and then just
memorize the
remember?
sequence? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
And then they're trying to mind games you, and you're like, ha, you're wasting time.
Alrighty, well, next matchup is going to be Trump with the Hunter once again, and Demigod's going to switch over to that Warrior.
Now, we actually have the decks of the players when they qualified for this tournament from their previous matches. Was it Demigod? Actually, no, I don't think it was Demigod. But we have seen some players not play Grim Patron Warrior.
Yeah, Demigod, he's a Control Warrior player.
He is a Control
His
Warrior
favorite
player.
2 classes are Paladin and Control Warrior. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Control Warrior here. And I'm not sure what the Mage is, but he could potentially have a lineup designed to counter Hunter. Because we see Control Warrior is a really, really strong counter to Hunter, even more so than Grim Patron Warrior. Yeah. And then we have the Paladin, really strong counter to Hunter, and then the Mage. We don't know what it is yet, but it would make sense if that's also a counter to Hunter, and we could see the Hunter just getting bullied out of this match.
Yeah, that does seem to be the way that, let's just say, players end up losing in Conquest format, where they have a great lineup, but they're running into a set of decks where one of their decks just can't get a win.
Exactly, yeah. That's one of the best strategies in Conquest, I'd say.
Do you think that's easy to accomplish, though, to kind of, how you put it, bully a deck out of the set while not being particularly weak to the rest?
Well, no. So if you're not able to find someone with that deck, you're likely going to be in a bit of trouble. And all of the most popular decks are decks that could win at any time. Like, there's Grim Patron Warrior and Hunter, basically, are the two most popular mainstream decks. And those decks are, if they draw the nuts, you're going to lose. Even if you have the perfect counter to them. Like, they can just get the perfect draw and take you down. And then
you
you're
get really
done.
depressed.
Yeah, because then all your other decks cannot beat what they have, yeah.
Yeah, Grim Patron Warrior is sort of at that stage right now where it's nearing refinement, but players are still trying to find like the best ways to deal with it, especially in a tournament level. So
Demigod's way of dealing with it is not playing that.
not playing it. Well,
Yeah.
Control Warrior, at least at the beginning, players were saying, hey, Control Warrior is a pretty decent matchup against Grim Patron Warrior.
Yeah, I tend to disagree, though, because Grim Patron Warrior, if it's not under any pressure, then it's going to be able to get all of its patrons out and Battle Rage in the same turn. And if it's able to do that, then even if you brawl it, he's just got another full hand to reload the board.
Yeah. A lot of them were teching in like double brawl to try and deal with like Zoo and Grim Patron Warrior because they were so popular on ladder. And then sometimes you play against a deck that isn't like that, and all of a sudden you have double brawl and it's like useless. So
Yeah.
Double brawl, double armor smith.
yeah, well that's
nothing
perfect.
done.
That's a perfect hand.
You see
Depends who you are.
another slow start from the Hunter here, but he has the high main, which a lot of people sometimes keep against Control Warrior, but never really against Patron Warrior. So might be able to help him here.
Trump has had a lot of slow, a lot of tech cards. Like, what isn't a slow-ish hand for this Hunter deck?
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what he cut for that Harrison Jones.
I mean, just Web Spinner here would be really amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, what could you even hope for from what we've seen?
Most of the Hunter decks lately have been playing like Leper Gnomes and Abusive Sergeants.
That's why the Hybrid Hunter was made, because it sort of increases the consistency of
Drawing a one-drop.
Drawing the 1-drops, yeah. And then all of a sudden they use their cards inefficiently to deal with your 1 and 2 drops, then all of a sudden you slam down a high main. They're like, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah, which is actually really, really bad against Warrior, which is why Hunter vs. Warrior is sort of becoming more Warrior favored for Control Warrior because they have those extra 1-drops in there that do nothing against Control Warrior. So maybe Trump's not running those, and he might be able to just grind out this game.
Yeah.
Then we see Ysera and Alastraza. That's 2 out of the 3 dragons required from Dragon Warrior.
Oh, we saw Nefarian as well.
It's a pretty low requirement.
Yeah.
We saw Nefarian as well in his opening hand.
Mulligan,
Oh, we did. That's true.
Yeah.
So it's probably Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, 3 dragons. That's Dragon Warrior.
It is.
That is actually how it operates these days.
Doesn't even need to have Blackwing Corruptors or anything. As long as you got the 3 dragons, you're good.
I think 3 dragons is okay for Blackwing Corruptors.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what they
it's standard.
do. They do the 3 dragons and then the 2 Blackwing Corruptors.
Yeah.
So he's going to opt to pop the Spider. Doesn't really play around Houndmaster, but it makes the trades on the board efficient, which is good. But it plays around Houndmaster for upcoming turns and allows him to have the free swing of the Deathbite next turn.
Well, Trump's going to get in some damage here.
Yeah, he's got 2 High Mains and Doctor Boom, all of the value cards in Hunter.
He just needs to draw into something to sort of ease out his curve until turn 6, because right now just having a kill command in his hand
Yeah.
is not really what he wants.
I like that. I like the Cruel Task armor up here.
Not double Cruel Task?
Double Cruel Task.
You think double Cruel Task is nice?
I don't think it's bad. I think it allows you to contest the Shredder, which I really, really like. So you double Cruel Task, then he bows down one of your 2/2s, and then you're able to equip the Deathbite, hit the Shredder, and then use the Cruel Task on board to finish off the 2-drop off the Shredder. Because that's the standard 4-drop in Hunter.
Yeah. There could be an argument for like armoring up, because armoring up every turn is good.
Yeah.
Gives you more life total at the end of the game.
It's not as relevant against the Control Hunter, though, is it?
Yeah, but at this point, how do you even know which type of hunter it is?
Oh, you played against it once.
Yeah,
He hasn't seen too many cards.
he's Deathbite in face here, which tends to make me think
What has he seen?
quick shots.
Quick
He's
shots.
He's seen web spinners. Web spinner is like trolly mid-range.
Yeah, definitely controlling mid
Or
range.
maybe he wasn't paying attention and he thought Trump actually legitimately ran King Crush. He's like, oh my god.
Call
Oh,
back.
no,
Where's the call pet?
We have to expect more out of these players at this stage.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Even still, I mean, if you see King Crush, you're like, without even thinking about it, you just assume it's a web spinner.
Yeah.
It's not the opposite.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think 2 1-1s is worth a Deathbite swing.
Well, it's the play that he's set up to do.
Yeah, but I think he expected Trump to play something.
Yeah. Sort of worked out in Trump's favor.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like, oh, well, I don't have a 4 or 5 drop here, but it's not working out too bad because I might be able to bait out a Deathbite swing here with just my 2 Spectral Spiders.
I kind of like if you're going to do the swing, I like the Armor Smith Cruel Task. Just get the armor and get some creatures on the board.
Really? I don't think there's any way you can swing here.
You can gain armor, but that's just about it. You can just play Cruel Taskmaster and Armor Smith, clear off one of them, and have an Armor Smith on the board.
Yeah, I like that. Like, you're not under any pressure. There's no reason to waste the best weapon in the game on 2 1-1s.
The best weapon in the game.
Wow.
Bold claim. Gorehowl, Ashbringer,
Well, it's too high risk to play those. whereas
Gladiator's Longbow.
that's too high risk.
Yep.
Too high risk.
That's a good one.
But like, you're so open yourself up to Harrison Jones or Ooze. Whereas Deathbite, it's not an overcommitment, and it still just does everything you want it to do and more.
Yeah, I saw Crip's eyes light up when I said Gladiator's Longbow.
That's
a good
a
one.
ridiculous card.
Oh my
when you
god,
see it in
12
Arena.
wins, easy.
It is a huge card in Arena.
Yeah, but don't you just get oozed every time? They all draft ooze, right?
No, but they don't expect you to have the bow. So at like turn 6, usually they just play out all the small creatures because that's your defense against getting rushed down.
Yeah.
So they play the ooze.
They play the ooze.
all right.
It's just a test for the bow and Glaive Zuka.
What do you
Actually, I think the bow is maybe in contention for the best weapon in the game.
In Arena.
No,
Yeah.
in this.
Okay.
This bow, the Eagle Horn.
Oh, the Eagle Horn bow, yeah.
bow.
Yeah, that's a good weapon.
I was gonna say there's a lot of bows.
Like,
Yeah, there's like 6 different bows. What are you talking about?
there's only one real bow. That's the real bow.
All right.
He's thinking about kill commanding this Armor Smith. How do you feel about that? He looks like he's gonna do it.
Yep.
Well, there's a potential for him to gain absurd amounts of armor in the next coming turns with the Deathbite already equipped in 1 swing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the bane. He doesn't want him to gain too much life. He wants to sort of minimize the amount of life gain that Demigod has.
It's also that kill command can't be played the next 2 turns.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
And you have you want your high main coming down on as clean of a board as possible, so it's as hard as possible to deal with. So I like clearing as much as possible.
I like Demigod's little smirk there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so yeah, let's get this hand curve down.
That's really good with the 2 9-drops in here.
He did the Kel'Thuzad impression in his interview. I wonder if we can get him to do the Emperor Thorsan interview later.
Yeah, I like this play by Trump. There's no way you can go for the Scientist quick shot clear there. It just puts you too far behind. You have to be the aggressor.
Yeah. And here you really want to keep your nice little guy with his hand.
He can Cruel Taskmaster BGH, but if he does that, then he's going to be in some trouble next turn when Dr. Boom comes down.
Yeah. I definitely think you should start with the shield block.
What now?
Because even after the shield block, you can still Cruel Taskmaster BGH if
Yeah.
you want to.
Mhm.
So,
If he draws into a Shield Slam, he's going to be pretty happy.
yeah, well, a Whirlwind would probably be the best, right?
Yeah, something that cleans up the little minions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Oh, he's doing
Oh.
a BGH play, I suppose.
I guess. I just don't see any reason why not to look at the first card.
Mhm.
Maybe he's planning on armoring and just not shield blocking this turn, save shield block, so he can preserve the armor for a shield slam later.
Yeah, because if he uses Shield Block, then he's not armoring up this turn.
Yeah.
And so, again,
No,
maximum amount of
he's-
life gain.
He's gonna attack before shield block here. He wants to do that damage to the high main. That's his
All right,
play.
there we go. So he's gonna save the big game hunter then.
Yeah.
Ooh, Baron Geddon. That's gonna be really good for cleaning him up.
All
6
right.
mana Baron Geddon. That card would be in every deck.
Yeah, that'd be a good card.
What about a 0 mana Cruel Taskmaster? Would that be in every day?
Yep.
It's called
Every
Inner
warrior
Rage.
day.
Hunter's marked 1 turn too late.
What about a 7-mana Alistraza? That would not be in every deck.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which deck? Well, I mean, like, it wouldn't be in, like, Face Hunter or Zoo, I guess. But it'd be in a lot of control decks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine Druid with that. That'd be pretty good.
And the main weakness of the big drops is not really that they're slow. Like, you can just make a deck that survives to that point most of the time.
Yeah.
It's that on 9 mana, you literally just can't do anything.
Yeah, that's the big disadvantage. He leaves up the Emperor here. How do you feel about that?
I think that's okay. I mean, at this point, you left it up for 2 turns, whatever.
Yeah, screw it.
2 turns is sort of like the limit. After 2 turns, you're like, how cheaper could these cards get?
Yeah.
He's 1 mana off being able to armor, shield slam, then Baron Geddon for the full clear. But big game Hunter Baron Geddon, full clear.
Yeah, that kills
It
his
kills
whole
the big
board.
Game.
Yeah.
There's boombots there, man.
Oh yeah, the boom butts.
It's likely that the Baron Geddon dies as well.
Wow.
I think I like
You could
just get an armor up.
yeah, and just trade into the 7/7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've gotten enough value off the Emperor already. No reason to preserve it.
Yeah, especially have to be careful knowing that Baron Geddon, it puts you on a shorter clock because it's basically 200 hero powers every turn if he leaves it up.
Yeah, so getting that armor is really good.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not planning on Baron Geddoning this board.
I don't know if I like that too much. I feel like getting just killing the big game hunter. It's probably the same thing, except you just okay. I guess you get 5 damage to face him.
Yeah,
That's okay.
could be relevant.
Yeah,
Especially
alright.
with the 0 mana Cruel Taskmaster.
All right, we'll see where these
Grom.
boombots go. Okay.
Typical.
No damage to face he's probably pretty happy about that actually because he's starting to get relatively low.
This is a huge swing turn for Trump.
Yeah.
That high main quick shot. Open board high main is a warrior's worst nightmare.
It's so hard for them to deal with it cleanly. Well, there's a Blackwing Corruptor.
Wow.
You have to shield slam as well, though.
Yeah.
Still not a clear.
Blackwing Corruptor, Shield Slam, and you're still left with
Two
twos.
Yeah.
Oh, the fact that their beasts count as well.
Yeah.
That's something.
Is it even worth then to even kill it? Because that's only minusing 2 damage.
Yeah, maybe
Actually,
just Alex
with the line of play he's been showing so far, it seems like he'd just choose to maybe push for more face damage.
Yeah, maybe. Just try and set up for the Grom off the top.
I haven't been keeping track. We saw 1 kill command. Have we seen both kill commands this game? I don't think so.
I don't think so, just 1.
Well, if you're not going to use, if you're not going to try and kill it, what's the line of play then? Do you throw it on Ysera and armor up, or do you Blackwing Corruptor the face and armor up, and maybe try and set up for kill next turn? Ysera could also, if you get Ysera Awakens, could set you up for a kill.
Yeah, Ysera I think is definitely the play because you want Alex after you take a lot of damage, and right here you're just on the edge of death. You can probably play around 13 damage because you play around 1 kill command generally against Hunter, not 2 or anything extreme. So I like just playing Ysera and then saving Alex for more value because right now it's only a heal for 3. You want to heal after the high main hits you to then reset your health again.
Yeah. And it costs 6 mana, so
He doesn't have lethal with Nightmare, does he? No.
well, not if he did, not anymore.
No, he had
No, if the
11.
Ysera stayed alive, no, even then.
Yeah.
He had 14 damage.
No, he had 14 damage on 11 mana, I believe.
Oh, on 11 mana. Yeah, 14 is not even enough damage. He's at 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it'd be either 14 damage or Alistraza for that 1 point. That would be the 11 mana.
Yeah.
All right, so
Still no.
Trump is now showing 14 points of damage on the board plus the Hunter hero power. So Alex tries to armor up, does save him, but a top deck could potentially be lethal.
Yeah. Alex tries to armor
Oh,
up
what about Alistraza's armor up shield slam?
on the Mad Scientist.
And the Mad Scientist
Yeah.
could be good. Then maybe you have to develop a Cruel Taskmaster too to proc the Freezing Trap to try and threaten some sort of lethal, make them be worried about the Alexstrasza.
You have to sort of think, what would kill me if I don't shield slam? That wouldn't already kill me if I did. So like, if what is he playing around? So there's 10, 12 damage on board. If he doesn't kill it, he'd be back up to 17. I guess it would take out the possibility of second kill command killing him. So
Second kill command is 11, 15, 17. So he's still dead to second kill command, right?
Regardless? Oh, yeah, that's true. So I don't know if it's even worth it.
I think he's going for the draw. Acolyte Cruel Task.
Yeah, it plays around Eaglehorn Bow #2, so that's about it, I think. And I guess Huffer or Leah. Ooh, that's going to be good next turn.
Is it? It might be too late next turn.
If he can get to a next turn, a freezing trap,
Wow.
that's not very useful.
That is like the worst draw.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's like not drawing a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally flipped around. Now it's looking bad for Trump.
Yeah, because now, next turn, Demigod can use shield block, armor up. He's got, well, he doesn't have a dragon in his hand anymore, so Blackman Corruptor is sort of not activated. I believe the only dragon left in his deck is Nefarian, so he's not going to be able to use that unless he draws that next turn.
Does he have a third trap? Wow, he does.
Third trap.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, no, it's
it was
second.
the other game where he did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've only seen the double freezing so far.
Okay. Well, it's still a good spot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true. It was like not drawing a card, because if you played the freezing trap, if he's not running any traps, which a lot of mid-range hunters do only run double freezing, then it would be like he either would not be able to trade in the Mad Scientist to get value out of it, or not use the card that he drew that turn.
Well, I think here you...
What now?
If you... Okay. Can you stay alive from that?
You armor
Yeah,
up.
you can. I think you armor up, shield block, and Black and Corruptor face. And then you
Well,
freeze...
you can't Blackman Corruptor. Oh, yeah, you do freezing trap to Alex.
No, you don't freeze it. You just don't attack.
Oh.
And then you proc freeze
Well,
with Grow Mash,
then
and
the-
then you Nightmare Alexstrasza for lethal next
You have
turn.
to
The
proc the
Blackman
freezing
Corruptor
trap.
is not going to do damage to set up lethal then.
Unless you freeze the
Unless you freeze
Alexstrasza.
the Alex.
Doesn't have a dragon.
Because he has no dragons, yeah.
Oh! That's true.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
But if you freeze Alexstrasza, you're never using it again.
Yeah. Because Emperor's already been played. So
Oh, he's running out of time.
10 damage on the board. He's got to be afraid of that card. But he knows the card's not damaged because 3 damage would have killed him. So he knows the card cannot be a damage dealing card. It's interesting going for the Shredder instead. The Shredder's usually either a 3-2 or a 2-3.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more consistently to remove damage. Killing a 2-2.
Well,
Wow.
I think
That's
that's
so bad.
unless he kills off the Alexstrasza here, that's going to be game for Demigod.
Yeah.
He's got Grom in his hand,
Yep, that's game.
so he just needs to have something on the board for freezing trap.
No, it's over.
Yeah, that's it. You can proc the freezing trap with
This-
the Alexstrasza.
This
and then-
Hunter is not winning games.
Wow.
Strategy is playing out very well.
Yeah, it's actually working. Quite impressive.
Well, it's not going to work against players without Hunters, but how many do you expect will be in that situation?
There's probably like one guy that didn't bring a hunter.
Okay. And he has to
Oh,
beat
it's Demigod.
his opponent, right?
Yeah, he has to still win his opponent too.
Alrighty, well, Trump is
Good
going to fall
stuff.
down 0-2 in this series. Demigod only needs one more win to move on to the winner's match of Group A.
Yeah, so in terms of the structure of the tournament, we are in the group stage right now. We're doing Group A.
Yep.
We have players matching off against one another, and then the winners are going to match off against each other. The losers match off against each other.
Yep.
And then the loser of the winner's match will face the winner of the loser's match.
Yeah, so it's sort of like GSL style groups in a way, if you're familiar with that. The top 2 players from every group do move on to that playoff stage, the top 8 on Sunday. So we'll see 2 players eliminated from each group moving from today and tomorrow. So losing that first match is pretty rough, because
It
then
is,
you're
it
sort of
is.
fighting an uphill battle for the rest of the day, and I'm sure Trump does not want to have to do that.
Yeah. No one wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do
No one
that.
wants to do that.
Well, you do get to verse other losers though, right?
Yeah.
So then, if you're the
But
type,
everyone's a winner, so you know it's
if you're the type of person that can like persevere and push through losses, then
Yeah.
it could be pretty good for you. You get easier games to coast into day 3. So maybe that's a strategy in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do really struggle after their first loss, especially if it's their first tournament. They don't know how to like cope with it and then end up making kind of silly mistakes.
there's quite a bit on the line too. Like there's a lot of money here.
Yeah.
But on the other side, there's the World Championship points, and just even getting some extra is a big deal.
Yeah, definitely. It is very prestigious to participate at BlizzCon and get the World Champion
You know
points
about
and qualify. Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay.
It was really cool. It helped me a lot to getting recognized and getting into tournaments.
And here you are.
Yeah, and here I am, so...
There you go. How about that?
Such a success story.
Now we're going to see this Mage. What do you think of the Conquest format without bans?
Personally, it's not my favorite.
Why?
Because I like having the structure of lineups matter a lot, because it's my favorite part of the game, is building 3 different decks that work together. I think it's way harder to build a lineup that works together and has a really cool plan than it is to just build one deck that has a cool plan, then another deck that has a separate cool plan, then another deck that has a separate cool plan.
Yeah, but you say that, but at the same time, we see Demigod's plan to make 3 decks that beat up Hunter that don't suck too much against everything else, and it's working.
Yeah, but like how many... That's all you bully a deck. That's the whole Conquest.
It seems fun
That's it.
so far.
Yeah, it's fun the first 20 tournaments,
Okay.
you know?
It's
like,
fun when you're bullying a Hunter.
Yeah.
And bullying Hunter is always fun.
Yeah.
Let's not get that mistaken. It's really fun to bully Hunter,
Absolutely.
but then that entire plan can just backfire if Hunter gets lucky once.
Or if somebody doesn't bring a Hunter.
Yeah, so that it's not
Doesn't
as
bring a
cool, I don't
Hunter.
think.
It's not Hearthstone.
All right. Well, we are going to move into game number 3 here. Demigod's queuing up the Mage. This is the last deck that he needs to win with in order to take out the Trump. in
Now, I
his
know
first matchup.
generally Hunter's okay against Freeze Mage, but slowing down the Hunter seems like it'd be more problematic.
No,
I think it's better.
it's much better, much
Yeah.
better. The only way you lose is if they generally can like set up a huge board and race you. But if you know it's a slow Hunter, you can be a lot freer with your freezes. You can like not freeze a board of like 5 damage or whatever because you know they don't have that much more coming. You don't expect too much burn. One of the things that Freeze Mage can struggle against though is the Hybrid Hunter, which runs only the sticky Death Rattle minions that are a pain in the butt and all of the burn still.
But from Trump, I think what we've seen so far of his deck is the mid-range.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
mid
slower
range,
Hunter.
the slower. It's not the...
Doesn't that favor the Mage, though?
Yeah, it favors the Mage. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
I thought I was saying.
Oh, I thought you were saying it favored...
No, I know
Okay.
with Freeze Mage they play Solitaire, and like the
Yeah.
longer they have to get the ace and then the 2 and then the 3, the better chance of winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely how Freeze Mage works. A lot of times against the slow Hunter too, they don't have very adequate ways to deal with things like Antonidas or Emperor or Alex while still maintaining tempo. They have to like kill command it and trade a minion or trade in their high main. So being able to get one of those cards down right on curve generally seals the deal for the Freeze Mage.
It's a pretty bold move by Demigod to bring this lineup. I mean, Freeze Mage, Paladin, Control Warrior. Sort of like 3 control classes. It's
Wait, you said there's one player in the tournament who didn't have a Hunter deck. That's Demigod.
Yeah, that's.
He doesn't have to worry about anything.
You didn't catch that?
Nah, I suck.
no, I suck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing early Doomsayer anticipating Animal Companion since you have no way to deal with it in your hand really.
Yeah.
But looks like he's going to go with the ping instead and be rewarded because there's no Animal Companion on Trump's
There's
side.
no anything on Trump's
Yeah,
side.
that is ugly.
That's good.
Wow. Trump has had 3 bad Hunter hands.
Yeah.
It's not good.
This would be a good Hunter hand if he had already spent a lot of the game building up a board.
Yeah, that would
And
be
then
terrific.
damage from hand is the best thing against Freeze Mage
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah, he's drawn it in the wrong order.
It looks like he's about to get his first point of damage here.
Yes, he's done it.
The bleeding has started.
Yeah.
He has no idea what type of mage this is. He's going with the bow pass. I think he's afraid of the tempo mage.
It doesn't look very tempo-y.
Well, Loot Hoarder is sometimes run in the like Flame Waker tempo mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you think like Tempo Mage usually has like a better curve than what we've seen.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
it doesn't seem very likely from Trump's perspective that it would be that.
Well, he held the bow charge.
Yeah.
It can be pretty scary though, because sometimes, especially if they're on the coin, a lot of times they hold on to things, so they can set up big spell-heavy turns with
Yeah.
Flame Waker and Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Absolutely.
So you don't really know for sure, because a lot of times on turn 5 they play like Sorcerer's Apprentice, Flame Waker, and then just start spamming spells to get the damage on. So,
Yeah.
but with the Secret played right on turn 3, you can pretty much.
Yeah, now he knows for sure.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting he still didn't
It's a pretty
swing with the
depressing
bow.
moment, I'd imagine.
Yeah. You have to know you're screwed just looking at your hand. This is where you need all the minions to pressure them so they can't just freely draw their cards and be under no pressure.
God.
Well, his kill commands are activated.
Alright. I'd like to see him swing with the bow. You really want to get the bow damage in before they get the ice barrier up, because sometimes with a hand like this, you can deal so much damage to them that you can then burst them down without having to proc the ice barrier.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is, like, I'm pretty sure this type of hunter runs 2 of those bows, and with how badly Trump is drawn, it
Yeah.
might seem like that bow is coming up really soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hunter's one of the best ways at dealing with the sort of like low health mage with Ice Barrier and Ice Block, because they can get automatic damage in with their hero power every turn. So
Yeah.
where some classes have a lot of trouble because not only do they have to play a minion and let it attack, but then they have to get to the Ice Barrier too. So that's one thing that the Hunter has going for them in this matchup is if they do put that early pressure on, later on in the game they have a lot of tools to be able to get through those types of cards.
Yeah, Trump has 13 damage in his hand right now, so he could potentially kill Demigod before Demigod is able to Alex. He could easily pop the block in time with the amount of damage he has in his hand and the bow charges. And if he gets both those bow charges in, then he doesn't even have to worry about ice barriers for the entire game. He can just go on that damage plan and pop the block in time, and then if Demigod is unable to draw Alex in time, he will just lose.
Yeah, it seems very one-sided right now, but you're absolutely right with the line of play that's happening. Trump might just apply that necessary pressure.
I think in his ping choice, he's kind of afraid of being forced to overdraw here. He doesn't want to ping his Acolyte and then have the Creeper bump in and then the Scientist bump in, making him overdraw.
You think it's that big of a risk
I think it is.
when you're at 7? Like,
Well, this is kind of a matchup where Alex is pretty important, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't
but
know.
you're only overdrawn 1,
Yeah,
and you're
it's
drawn
not a big deal.
3
Oh,
instead.
I do not like hitting his Acolyte here. You need to really pressure them. He doesn't really care about drawing. You saw it because he didn't even ping his own Acolyte. So I would have really enjoyed seeing like a little more face.
A little more face action.
Yeah, a little more face, a little less value, you know?
But he is the mayor.
He is the mayor, so he's got to stick to his guns, but I don't think it's the winning line for this match.
We'll see if it hurts him.
The value-oriented plays in Hearthstone does sometimes become the necessary one when you're really grinding out card for card.
Yeah.
But that's so rare these days. Like, the decks
Definitely.
have such a refined purpose that it very rarely leads to that.
Yeah. Definitely does not lead to that in this matchup usually.
No.
Because Freeze Mage will grind you out with infinite fireballs if you give them enough time.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty tough turn, just trying to make sure you're using everything efficiently. Blizzard, it freezes the Harrison Jones, but you always have to think a couple turns ahead as Freeze Mage. Like if you Blizzard this turn, what are you going to be doing next turn?
I don't like Blizzard
Yeah,
too
I don't
much.
like Blizzard either.
I
I
don't
would
like Kona Cold a bit.
Yeah, I like Kona Cold and then Doomsayer even.
Mhm.
Just getting that out there, slowing down your opponent's turn
Oh
7.
my god.
They haven't done anything all game, so you can kind of expect them to have a Doctor Boom in their hand.
Look how much damage that is.
That's a lot of damage. He should really be going face.
He's not going to really get this secret
Like,
proc.
the most efficient turn you have here is quick shot face, attack face, hero power.
Yeah, I would really like to see that. We could have even gotten
Is he
some of
going
the-
to? I don't know.
I don't know. He seems to be playing towards a different game plan. So it's interesting to sort of see what he's got in mind.
Yeah. Hunter Secrets are effectively useless in this matchup, so there's no reason to sort of save that bow charge on the off chance that
Or
he
the
might-
quick shots.
Or the quick shots, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can set up to pop him next turn if he goes with your line of the double quick shot hero power, right? He does 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then he has 3, 6, 7, 8 next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 21 damage over 2 turns. So it looks like that's what he's going to do. He's going
And
to
it
set
does
up
beat
the pop.
Alistraza.
Yeah. Yeah, he even had more damage if he took the bow to the face last turn. And he could have, like, hero power kill commanded instead of Jones.
Yeah, because
And
those cards
pop-
really didn't
He could have
matter.
popped him this turn if he went with aggressive line. And then there would be actually no way for Demigod to win.
And well, the Kona Cold play is still there.
Yeah.
Since Demigod's lineup is designed to beat Hunter, could this be the start of a reverse sweep for Trump?
I feel like Freeze Mage is pretty consistent against quite a few classes.
Yeah, it definitely has a bunch of strong spots and a bunch of weak spots.
Yeah, Trump has Paladin and Handlock. Well, assuming. It could be Zoot. Paladin and Warlock remaining.
I think it doesn't really matter if it's Zoo or Handlock. I think Freeze Mage is pretty well against
Yeah,
both.
Freeze Mage is really good against both.
But I'm pretty sure Freeze Mage is not so great against Paladin most of the time.
No, Freeze Mage is amazing against Paladin.
Is it?
Amazing. Paladin does not kill you.
Okay.
Paladin,
Yeah, it is slow. But
they can run 2 Kazans and all the heals in the world, and you're still going to be able to just chill around for a really long time, get an Emperor down, draw 100 fireballs off Antonidas, and then kill them.
They can get like a perfect curve where
Okay.
they get like muster for battle into quartermaster, and then like burst you down from
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of health. But
I guess sometimes.
man, I gotta play more
ideal
constructed.
scenarios.
Yeah, like 1 in 100 games, sure.
Yeah. I just remember like way back in the day when Freeze Mage started to be a thing. It was the Paladin that did kill it.
Huh.
Because they used to run so many heals with Guardian and Kings.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
just heal way
Yeah.
too much.
Before Emperor, I
Yeah.
guess. Because you can literally get like
Pre-Emperor.
Yeah.
20 fireballs. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like, obviously that's an exaggeration, but you
It's
get
not,
a lot
it's
of
not
fireballs.
even that. Just Emperor alone allows you to have an in-hand combo of over 30 damage.
Yeah.
So you just can't heal that.
Yeah, you
There's
can't
no
do
healing.
that. So it's so much damage.
All right, Demigod here has to draw into Alexstrasza because he's on a couple turn clock here because he knows that the hero power is just going to get through the ice barrier, so that's not even an option for him to try and stay alive longer.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Doomsayer there.
Just to preemptively deal with whatever was on the board.
Yeah, so when your Alex come down, you're not worried about dying, because
The thing is, the freeze trap here actually matters a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't get
Yeah.
to kill himself.
I don't know.
A mad scientist, at least.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you lose.
Yeah, that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Doesn't have enough damage. Didn't draw into the Alexstrasza.
Yeah, it's sort of what I was saying with the Trump's all burn hand. Sometimes that's exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it seemed really, really bad at first, and then as the game developed and the Mage didn't really have much early game pressure, no Emperor, no, like, nothing really going on for him, no barrier early enough procced, and that was it.
All right, well, if that strategy was true and Demigod was targeting out that Hunter, then Grip said it. We might be in for a reverse sweep. It's a little too
Firebat
early
said
to
that
speak.
one.
Oh, Firebat said that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are so similar. You look exactly alike.
What?
Really?
No.
Yeah. It was a great game though. Yeah, I think it highlights a lot of stuff that we were talking about, and it was just entertaining to watch. How Freeze Mage has its own plan, Hunter has its own plan,
Yeah.
and
If we would have seen off the first Scientist, if there would have been Ice Barrier instead of Ice Block, I think the Freeze Mage would have won that game. Like, that was just the deciding factor right there, is the 50-50 flip on the secret that comes out. Because if that's Barrier, then he's going to gain an extra 8 life, and Trump's not going to be able to burn him out in time.
Yeah.
now one thing that a lot of people like to do is the 2020 hindsight plays. So let's go into that. Do you think if Demigod maybe actually pinged his Acolyte, got those extra few cards, or didn't coin and did the Acolyte ping, maybe he would have just drawn out a lot more?
Yeah, and maybe gotten the Alex in time. Yeah, that might have been something that made a difference in that game.
Yeah. It could have been a risk, though, because he didn't know where the Alex was. Of course,
Yeah.
hindsight is 2020, like you
Yep.
said.
Yeah, but odds are you're going to not mill the Alex.
Yeah, but there's that guy out there, just screaming. It's like, why didn't he ping the Acolyte?
Yeah.
All right, well, next matchup is going to be the Freeze Mage once again for Demigod. Only deck he needs to win with. Versus the Paladin
Yeah.
from Trump.
I think this is going to be one of the hardest ones for Trump. Like, between the two choices, Warlock and Paladin, I think Paladin's even harder than Warlock. Because especially if it's Handlock, Handlock can get some sort of, like, God draw that gets the Giant on 4, gets enough pressure. Because you can actually pressure Freeze Mage with
Giants are hard to kill.
Yeah, Giants are big. They're 8/8s. Whereas Paladin is much harder to get that early game pressure because the early game pressure isn't one card. It's like a combination of 6 different things that need to be happening all at once.
No, you certainly convinced me when you were talking about it, how Paladin does just get started a bit too slow, and Freeze Mage, anything slow you're going to beat.
Yeah.
But I have faith in the light.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
Plus, it doesn't really matter. Like, Trump's got to beat it with both of them.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter, but he's taking the harder one first.
Yeah. Another big thing is Paladins don't really have a
it's
way to
actually
deal
time
with.
efficient. If
Yeah.
it's the worst matchup, you could just go home earlier.
I guess, yeah, get a quick breakfast, brunch sort of thing going
Exactly.
on. There you go.
You got to keep schedule, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paladins don't really have much of a way to deal with Doomsayers either. Like, they don't have damage from hand.
Yeah, they have a quality, but they really want to save that for Antonidas,
Yeah.
because that can get out of control really quick.
And if their board is frozen
Yeah.
and they don't have a weapon equipped or a weapon in their hand, they have a quality. then they have no way to do it unless they have Consecrate as well. So the combos to kill the Doomsayer don't line up like it would for other classes that can deal spell damage from hand.
Now, what do you do here? I think you Frostbolt just to slow down the game. But do you think you'd ever Mad Scientist instead?
No.
Apparently,
Apparently you do, yeah.
Apparently you do.
Apparently you do. Personally,
I thought it was pretty close.
I guess.
Like I think I would have Frostbolted too, but I'm not like sure about it.
Oh, I just like slowing down the game, taking as little damage as possible. The longer it goes out, the better it is for the Freeze Mage player. So just letting them get this free damage can be kind of punishing, but
yeah. You can get quite a bit of value from Archmage Antonides in this matchup especially, so you're not too worried about like saving those Frostbolts later on for damage.
Yeah.
So slowing down the game is pretty beneficial.
yeah. Well, if he's following his line, he's going to Arcane Intellect here and just trade off into the Juggler.
Yeah, you want to trade before Arcane Intellect.
You gotta block again. That's not good.
Yeah.
You always want to get Barrier off your first Scientist. It's just really advantageous, helps you from getting like burned out and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 2 mana 2/2 like gains you 8 armor is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not a mech.
Oh, well, what are you gonna do? You can't have it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about Crip's point a little bit that he made. Making sure you draw before you trade in Mad Scientist, because if you draw a secret, with that, it ruins the amount of value that you could possibly get from Arcane Intellect.
It's not like the biggest deal here, because like even if you drew 2 cards and both secrets, you still had more secrets left in the deck. But sometimes it's not the case, and you feel really dumb.
Yeah, but it reduces the chance is the big thing.
Yeah,
so it takes a secret out of your deck, so it makes it so you're more likely to draw into a card that matters more than the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you always want to get the Scientist killed first.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna see Blessing of Kings.
Blessing
and then
of
whale him in the
Kings.
dome.
We haven't really seen that card much lately in Paladins.
It speeds up the game a bit, by the way.
It's really good against Freeze Mage.
He's teching against Freeze Mage.
He's
with this
got it.
Paladin. He's done it.
I think you just call it Fireball here.
Yeah, you definitely just Fireball it. The Freeze
Or
Mage.
do you?
Oh, I guess.
We'll never know.
Maybe.
Incoming Acolyte, ping Acolyte.
Yeah, the greedy play again.
He's at 19. I don't know if he can afford to get much greedier.
Well, he's got the Antique Heal Bot, but at the same time, like, just Fireball it.
You know what's interesting? It would have served as an out in that game earlier.
Yeah, it would have against the Hunter. I didn't know he ran it, but that definitely would have been an out.
But considering he had Antique Healbot, would you maybe consider actually just drawing those 3 cards with the Acolyte then?
Yeah, I think that would have been much better. So, interesting that he chose the other line.
Still,
A bit early for Doomsayer.
yeah, it's good preemptively, but you're not really turn 6 power plays. Emperor Thorsan,
Ember Thorsan's a pretty
Sylvanas.
good one.
Yeah.
But against Paladin, it's usually pretty good to do later Doomsayers. Against Hunter and more faster decks,
Man,
it's usually
Sylvanas.
better to go with the tempo Doomsayer.
Yeah.
Often Sylvanas will be a liability, but right now it seems fairly safe. So
This
you just
board's
gotta
not big
dunk
enough.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a liability for the fact that you can fireball the Sylvanas to steal the Doomsayer to clear the board, but it really only clear
Yeah.
one thing.
Well, actually, Frostbolt would do it too here.
Oh yeah, Frostbolt Ping.
What to
Or
do?
Frostbolt Ping and then trade that.
Actually, I
You
think
can just
I think
freeze
I
it.
like.
And set it up for later turns.
Yeah,
with
that's
Sylvanas.
yeah.
I think I like that. I think I like Kona Cold Ping Acolyte. Because then you can suicide the Acolyte, then Frostbolt Doomsayer.
Yeah. Well,
It's pretty strong.
yeah. Frost Nova allows you to play Mad Scientist as well to draw into
What to
Ice Barrier.
Well, you don't want to play Frost Nova this turn because one of the ways you could die is a Lothep on the next turn or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So, unless you're clearing the board, you definitely want to have something available to stall the board during a Lothep turn.
Yeah. So would you say that's a greedy play to go from Frost Nova?
Yeah, then you're not playing around Lothep at all.
I like Kona Cold just because it does the 1 damage. So
Yeah.
if the Acolyte dies to like True Silver or something, then you still have it. Or
Oh,
something.
he's thinking about just running in the Acolyte immediately and just getting rid of it. That's
Okay.
fine too.
Yeah, it looks fine to me. Less cute play, but often that's
Often
more
that's better,
effective.
yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
Flamestrike doesn't usually lead to a complete board stall. That's why a lot of Freeze Mage players only run 1. So whenever it can act as a complete board stall, it's really good to take it.
Very effective.
Man, Trump's playing really fast. I guess he doesn't really have
I'm not
many
used to this
options.
at all. My head's spinning.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when he has like the entire turn of Demigod to go through his plays, you said it earlier, sort of like the Mage is playing solitaire, and so
I mean,
Trump
that-
gets to think
some
about his whole
decks
play.
just play that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freeze Mage is one of them.
Alright, so Scientist, and then what else are we doing? It's either probably setting up a Doomsayer this turn just to stall the board, or just going for the draw. I wouldn't mind either. Because it's Paladin, so 5 damage isn't that big of a deal, especially when you have the heal for 8 in your hand and 1 coming off this Scientist.
I really just like the Mad Scientist. Like, I think you just play the Mad Scientist no matter what. The other cards just stall and don't really do much, and because they all do the same thing, it doesn't really matter which one you play.
Yeah. So I like Mad Scientist, Conical Doomsayer, I think is fine. Stalling going into your turn 9 in case you top deck Alex, and also the next turn you can just Arcane Intellect and play Emperor. That sets up for 2 pretty good eventualities.
Oh, you called it.
So a lot of people cut either Cold or Antique Killbot. They're sort of tech cards. What are they in place of a lot of the times?
Usually it's in place of Pyroblast, but we saw Pyroblast earlier, so I actually don't know.
What is he cutting?
Yeah. The interesting Freeze Mage list.
This deck has 32 cards.
We haven't seen both Ice Lances, maybe.
1 Ice Lancer.
One Ice Lance.
Ice Lance is really good for burst damage and really well with
Yeah.
Antonidas.
Yeah.
So that'd be an interesting cut.
Trips speaking from a practical point of view because we haven't seen one. He's right.
No,
we've only seen one of them.
We've just seen like all the critical cards. So like some of them are going to have a one of.
Yeah.
Like I think the substitution is going to be something like that. Is what I'm saying.
I think it's probably going to be like 1 Loot Hoarder.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Loot Hoarder too often, and that's generally considered a pretty cuttable card. If you're cutting a draw spell for a freeze spell, it's sort of like the same thing, because the freeze spell is going to buy you another turn, which buys you a draw.
Yeah.
So they're very similar.
Well, he's pretty low health, but he gets the ice barrier up, and he's got a lot of stall still. He's got anti-Keelbot to bring him back up. Trump is running out of cards, and as we talked about a little bit earlier, Paladins just, once they get to that point where their board is just frozen every single turn, they don't have much damage from hand, it's just so hard for them to close it out.
He still has to run out of Tyrion. That's a lot of stuff to run out of.
Oh, he's got another Doomsayer and another Frost Nova.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Just clearing the board here, potentially. But I don't know if it's worth now, because you've seen the Owl now, so now you can kind of wait for a juicy board, because you know there's not going to be another Owl.
I like it still.
Yeah, it's not bad, definitely.
The juicy board.
When your opponent only has 2 cards to reload the board, it's pretty good to kill all of their stuff.
Yeah.
True Silver Champion, not that great of a draw. It's...
I like True Silver face and then just play Tyrion and let it die and get the weapon. Oftentimes Tyrion's just going to be frozen anyway, forever. But I guess the True Silver draw kind of uninspires that play.
Yeah, changes that a little bit. Means he won't be able to use one of his cards for at least 3 turns.
Yeah.
Maybe even more if his face gets frozen.
But yeah, there's no way Tyrion ever connects or dies to Freeze Mage. They just freeze him forever.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen a lot of the freeze cards already, though. So is that
The
that's the
second
Cone of
Cone of Cold.
So
Wow.
maybe a Blizzard? I
Maybe
don't
he's
even
running
know.
1 Blizzard. Yeah,
One Blizzard.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
But he has to be cutting more than that, doesn't he?
1 Blizzard, 1 Loot Hoarder,
that makes up for a Cone of Cold with an anti-Healbot.
and then he still runs Pyroblast, so...
No.
Is he running-
You have to keep going. Keep
We haven't
cutting.
seen Antonidas yet.
We haven't seen Emperor Thorson either. That'd
Maybe
be
he cut
weird.
Emperor and Antonidas.
Whoa.
That's like a BM cut. Like I just beat you without Emperor by
Yeah.
Freeze Mage.
Well, maybe it's tech to just beat Hunter.
Yeah, it's super grindy with lots of freeze and the extra heal as
Perhaps.
well.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
because those cards are not the greatest against Hunter.
Demigod hates
Well, the
Hunter
only
so
downside of
much.
this is that if this deck does actually be like the deck of the tournament, we're going to see a lot of it on ladder. It's going to be really frustrating to play against.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever. Yeah,
I don't know about that. The Fatigue Mage is one of those decks people are like, oh, everybody's playing in the tournament. We're going to see it on ladder forever. Like 3 days people were playing Fatigue Mage.
yeah, like,
That's-
enough
and in
time
those
ago.
3 days,
I like Fatigue Mage.
yeah, in those 3 days, like people ended up playing like 2 games total. And like an hour and a half of their time later, they're saying, maybe this deck isn't as as fun as it was chalked up to be.
Tyrion connected, so I was wrong about that. But
I don't think it matters.
yeah, there was not enough heal. He's got he can set up lethal while freezing the board. And so Trump is going to need to top deck a heal.
Yeah. The Demigod is looking really close to being able to close out this
Kazan.
game.
Yeah, well, his board's frozen, so yeah, I guess he gets popped and then he can be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that worked. So he's trying to figure out a way to play Acolyte while freezing the board and setting up lethal, but I don't think there's a way.
That was my Jaina impression.
It's pretty good.
Top notch.
Top notch.
How is there not? Can't you Frost Nova, Frostbolt, Ice Lance face, and then drop the Acolyte?
Oh yeah, you can. I don't know what he's thinking about. I guess he wants to Pyroblast first, in case he gets Emperor.
I think Pyroblasting first is usually when you can. Because a lot of times you may not have an opportunity to do that later on in the game. Oh!
That's a heal.
That's a huge draw.
Top.
He needs more than that, though. Like, not that huge of a draw.
Well, he's got the second ice block, so yeah, it's not that huge. So that's why he Pyroblasted first, is because he's got the second ice block.
Here's the big Quartermaster play.
So Freeze Mage is still going to need to somehow find some more damage.
And if he cut Archmage into Ice, which seems like a weird choice, but we haven't seen it yet.
He might be out.
Yeah.
He doesn't need much more damage, though. Like, at this stage, with that amount of freeze, I think just the other fireballs going to be enough.
Oh, well, there's second Blizzard, so we were wrong about that one, too.
Yeah.
It's looking more and more likely that he's actually cutting some of these big legendaries.
Yeah. Just gearing it to only beat Hunter. Wow. That's very interesting. He needs to set up for Alex to connect. Because he can freeze the face this turn with Frostbolt and Ice Lance. So if he can somehow...
Do you need to freeze the face? You've seen 2 True Silvers.
I mean, you have to kill Tyrion for Alex to connect.
No, but you can set up for kill Tyrion next turn and Alex connect next turn for lethal.
Oh, yeah. That setup would be good as well.
I wonder.
But how?
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Yeah, because you can't kill it without the Frostbolt Ice Lance, and you need that to kill him.
Yeah.
Demigod is the self-proclaimed best Hearthstone player in Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah. And maybe a lot of people in Hawaii play Hunter.
Maybe.
I'm sure they do.
It has to be it.
You're sure
Also
they do?
here.
What?
Also everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, the top deck
Wow.
after top deck. He's gonna.
There
be able to,
was another
Oh
weapon.
my goodness.
He's gonna be able to pop the block.
Trump's... Okay.
All right. He only wants one.
That's
one
amazing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's good sequencing because if you played the Muster for Battle, he wouldn't be able to play the Paladin Sugar. He wants as much power on the board as possible. Well, it's not even about the power, it's about the stickiness.
The loss in value.
Oh no! Would Trump hold off on playing the Muster for Battle and popping the block just to get more
Demigod's
value
still
out
in
of the
this,
Muster
though,
for Battle?
because he denies the weapon hit. He can freeze the board with the Frost Nova.
Fireball is lethal.
Oh!
Fireball
Wow.
Tyrion and 15 him.
That's
Top
it.
decked on one side
Ice
and then
Lance
top
Frostbolt
decked on the
Tyrion,
other.
and then 15 exact.
He's doing the math in his head.
All right. Just Fireball Tyrion, Alex face.
And I had my
Frostbolt,
faith in the light.
Hey, you were really close.
What to do?
The light almost prevailed. The light could still prevail. Nope.
Already sees it!
He sees it. He was just counting 3-4 times just
All
to
right.
make absolutely sure.
Better that way.
And Demigod is going to be the first player to move on to the winner's match of Group A, taking out Trump 3
like he's
to
relieved.
1. Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems more relieved than his interview led us to believe he's worried, you know?
Yeah, well, it's his first match on a stage like this, and he qualified through the Last Chance Open, so it was not the longest road for him as opposed to other players, but he had to play some tough opponents in that bracket.
And another one goes down here.
Yeah.
Trump into the loser side of his group, and Demigod advances to the winner's match, which we'll see after the next.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing someone that's relatively unknown advancing to the winner's bracket. And at the same time, Trump going down to the loser's bracket, he's someone that can cope with it. He's been around the tournament scene before. He's played Hearthstone competitively before, so he's going to be a player that is probably going to go get some brunch and then regroup and be fine.
Well, more than anything, what I really liked about those series of games was that Demigod had a game plan that we didn't anticipate. He didn't bring the classes we thought would be really strong, but he had a set strategy that was probably harder to accomplish than what most players would maybe bring to a tournament like this, and it seemed to work out very well for him.
Yeah, he was
Bully and Hunter, successfully done. And
it was looking a little bit scary for him when he actually lost one of his games to Hunter.
Yeah.
But he managed to pull out a close victory there at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting, that Freeze Mage list, how teched it was against Hunter, and it still managed to lose against Hunter. Like, we saw 2 Kona Codes, the heal bot,
Yeah.
like, everything that could possibly be good against Hunter was in that deck, and Hunter still can always squeak a win.
Yeah.
So definitely a strategy that we're going to have to see how long it can last.
Now, already, well, we do have a winner's interview ready with Demigod on stage, so let's send it over to Dan.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I'm joined by Demigod, who took out Trump to open up the Season 2 finals. How does it feel to beat Trump specifically? Was it very liberating, considering how well-known he is and how relatively obscure people don't know about you yet?
I just knew that Trump is a great player. I respect him a lot. And I just thought that if I play well at home, just act like the same. So just play the game, think about every card, top decks and whatnot, and just stick it to the game. Hearthstone. RNG's this Demigod. They got me.
That's right. Well, you said you want to play like you play at home, but you're from Hawaii, so that's kind of really cool that you get to connect, even though Hawaii's pretty far from the States in the sense, but you still get to travel this way to California. What's it like the Hawaiian Hearthstone scene? Do people literally have fireside gatherings there where they like celebrate and have luau's and stuff?
I wish that was true. I wish I can play Hearthstone at the beach, although I don't have internet on my phone. Pretty sad, guys. But, or tablet or whatnot. And the Hearthstone scene in Hawaii is steadily growing. I'm trying to put it on the map, and hopefully we can have some Hearthstone tournaments in Hawaii. That would be awesome. Next to the beach. Who wouldn't want that? Yeah, I pretty imagine that it's much nicer than at least Burbank here, but we're not too far from the beach ourselves. I guess I also want to follow up in asking you a little bit about your background experience. You talked a little bit before your match in the Versus video about how you like Hearthstone, but where are you from specifically in terms of your gaming background? Did you play other card games, or did you play a lot of other games in general? Actually, I play a lot of computer games, just sit down, chill. I like open world, like zombie games too. And when I was a kid, I used to play like Yu-Gi-Oh! I never played Magic, but I played Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Duel Masters, all those nerdy games. So it's pretty cool to be back. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. But I want to reassure you that don't worry. If you feel like you play nerdy games, you're in good company, because we all play nerdy games too. I think it's part of the experience. Okay, cool. So the last thing is you go into the winner's match. There's Koyuki or Kabi waiting on the other end. But you got Trump, which is probably one of the player who's been on the recent upswing. He's been playing very well. Do you feel like this is the momentum that you needed, or does it not really matter? You're going to take it one step at a time, or the biggest challenge is yet to come? I kind of want to verse Calento, life coach, all the big timers, prove myself to everyone. So this is only one step, and Trump is a great guy, so I'm happy that I got to challenge him first. Will we see any other card impressions if you're able to take out those guys? Did you guys see that? Oh, yeah, we saw and listened to it. They actually replayed it 5 times over just to get a good sync into it. Oh, no. Maybe. All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Congratulations, Demigod. You are the first winner of Season 2 Finals. We're going to head over to the couch where we're ready to get ready for our next match in Group A.